afternoon, children. Once again, welcome to the second part of demand chapter. Today we will be continuing with the reasons for the downward slope of the demand curve, right? As we have already seen that price and demand has a negative relationship. When price rises, the demand falls, and when price falls, the demand rises. Why do we say that? There are certain reasons to which we are going to clarify. The first reason is the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now you have already studied law of diminishing marginal utility in class 11, where you know that the additional utility derived from the additional unit of a commodity is a falling concept. That is, the additional satisfaction falls down. Now this is something very important, that when the additional satisfaction from the additional unit falls down, the consumer who is willing to maximize his total satisfaction will not be willing to pay a higher price for a commodity which is giving him lesser satisfaction. So he will be giving lesser price for a falling satisfaction, and in that case, in order to equalize his satisfaction with the price of the commodity, he will equate marginal utility of the commodity with the price of the commodity. What do you mean by that? You mean to say that when the price will fall, in order to maximize his satisfaction, he will purchase more of the commodity. And so this is proof that when the price falls, the quantity demanded will rise. The second point is income effect. Now income effect, what do you mean by that? Income effect is when the price of a commodity falls, the purchasing power of the consumer increases. What do you mean by that? For that we have to understand two types of concepts of income. That is, one is money income and the other is real income. Money income is the unit or amount of money which you use to purchase any of the commodity, and real income is the purchasing power of the money. When the price of a commodity falls, the consumer's purchasing power increases, and so he purchases more of the commodity with the same amount of money, or he can save some part of the money and use it in purchasing some of the other commodity. So what is happening? When the price is falling, the consumer can purchase more of the commodity. This is again proof that when the price falls, the commodity demanded will be more. Then third reason is substitution effect. Now substitution effect means when the two goods are related to each other, two goods are substituted to each other. Suppose A and B are two goods, tea and coffee are the two goods. If the price of tea will rise, coffee will become relatively cheaper. The consumer would be preferring coffee to tea. So coffee's price remaining the same, the demand for coffee will rise and that of tea will fall. Again, it is proof when the price of some commodity falls, the demand for that commodity will rise. So we can say somewhere that price effect and income effect, they are the price effect is the sum of income effect and substitution effect. Then next comes the increase in number of consumers. Now if the number of consumers increases in the country, definitely the demand for the commodity will rise, right? If the existing consumers, if the price of the commodity is changing, suppose the price of the commodity falls, the existing consumers will purchase more of the commodity. First, they will increase the demand of the commodity. Those who were not able to purchase this commodity, now they will also purchase this same commodity. Their demand will also increase, and the new consumers will add on to that demand, and the overall demand of the commodity will rise. Then last is several uses of a commodity. If a commodity that we have already discussed, such as electricity, milk, these are the commodities which are used for many purposes. If the price of such a commodity will fall, the consumer will start using them for many uses. Suppose the price of milk falls, the consumer will start using it for drinking also, for making tea also, for making curd also, for making cheese also. For each of the use they will start using it. But if the price of the same commodity will rise, they will start using it for the more important uses. Again proved, when the price falls, the demand rises. When the price rises, the demand falls. These are many reasons for the slope of the demand curve to be a downward slope, right? Now the next topic that we comes to is the exceptions to the demand. Law of demand. What do you mean by exceptions? These are the situations when the law of demand does not hold good. What is law of demand? Law of demand says that when the price is high, the demand is low, and when the price is low, the demand is high. In such situations, the consumers are not going to purchase the commodity on a low price. Instead, they will be purchasing the commodity at a higher price, and in such a situation, the law of demand will not hold good. What are those situations? The first situation is giffen goods. Now, giffen goods are those goods, these are the inferior goods which are purchased by a poor consumer. When their price falls, they decrease the consumption of that commodity. Why do they do so? They are doing it because when the price of such commodity falls, their real income increases. And when their real income increases, they start substituting inferior good to a superior quantity. Now, since their intake, the consumption of the family is fixed, they cannot substitute the entire inferior commodity to a superior commodity. So they substitute some part of the inferior commodity with the superior commodity, and so the demand for such commodity will fall even though the price of the commodity is falling. In such a situation, the law of demand will not hold good. Second is articles of novelty. These are the commodities which serve as a social prestige or social symbol. We term that as goods of conspicuous consumption also. What do you mean by that? They serve as a social prestige. So consumers would only be demanding these goods when their price is high, when their prices are high, because they wanted to maintain their social prestige. So they will be purchasing such goods only when their prices are high. Diamond is one of the examples of such a good. When their prices are high, the consumer will be purchasing these goods because they want to make their neighbors envy of their possessions. So they will be purchasing these goods at a higher price only. Now, in all these situations, there are many more also. In all these situations, the slope of the demand curve will not be a negative one, but will be a positive one that I will be showing after the theory part. Then next is the expectation about future prices. If the consumers are expecting that there will be a rise in the price of the commodity, what will happen? They will start consuming less of the commodity even at the low price today, because they are expecting the rise in price. So they will be purchasing more of the commodity even when the prices are high today. In that case, even though prices are high, but since just to avoid the pinch of a higher price in future, they will purchase more of the commodity today. Then emergencies are such conditions when there is famine, there is drought in the country. So even though the prices are high, because of the scarcity, because of the uncertainty in the economy, the consumers would be purchasing the more quantity of the commodity to hold it back even at the higher price. So the law of demand will not hold good in this situation also. Then quality price relationship. What do you mean by that quality price? There are certain people who consider price as the index of quality and they purchase brands. So they will be purchasing only high priced goods because they consider price as the quality. Right? So such consumers will only purchase a commodity when their prices are high, and they will not be going for a low priced commodity. Then change in fashion. If the fashion is changing, even though price of the existing commodity is falling down, the consumers who standardize fashion, they will not be purchasing a outdated commodity even though the price of that commodity is low. So such people will only be purchasing commodity that is in fashion, that is in trend, even though their prices are high. So again, it is proved that these are the exceptions for the law of demand. The law of demand is not holding good in these situations. Now I'll be showing you the slope of the curve in all these situations. Curve, as you already know, is a downward slope, right? Quantity we are depicting on x-axis, price we are depicting on y-axis, right? We have taken two units for price and quantity both. Now, according to law of demand, when the price is high, that is rupees 10. The demand for unit is 1, right? Because the price is high, the demand is low. When the price falls from 10 to 5, the demand extends from 1 unit to 2 units. That is, when the price falls, the demand rises. So the normal slope of a demand curve is this, as you can see over here. It is a downward sloping demand curve. Can you all see it, children? Right? The normal slope of the demand curve is downward when the price was 5, the demand was greater. When the price rises, the demand falls. But in case of exceptions, what happens? The law of demand does not hold good. What happens over here? In this case, the consumers, they purchase a higher quantity at a higher price only. So the law of demand does not hold good over here. What happens over here and how it happens? Let's see. Again, we have depicted the same quantity on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. But here what happens when the price is 10? When the price is 5, the demand is 1 unit. What is happening over here? When the price is low, the demand is high. But what is happening over here? When the price is low, the demand is also low. And when the price rises from 5 to 10, the demand also rises from 1 units to 2 units. What happens in this case? The slope of the demand curve becomes a positive slope. Do you understand? In this case, the consumers are preferring a higher quantity at a higher price for the reasons already given in the book, as I have explained to you. Is the diagram clear to you, children? Both the diagrams are clear? Right? This is all for the diagram part. Alright, the next topic, children, that we are going to cover is movement along the demand curve and shift of the demand curve. First, we'll take up movement along the demand curve. Now, when you talk about movement along the demand curve, there are two types of movement. One is expansion and the other is contraction. Now, expansion says when the quantity demanded of a commodity rises due to fall in its price, other things remaining the same, it is called the rise in quantity demanded or expansion of demand. So what does the definition is saying? That when the due to change in price, when the price falls and quantity demanded increases or rises, this is what you term as expansion of demand. In this case, the movement will be downward on a demand curve, right? And then contraction of demand, when due to rise in price, the quantity demanded falls. It is known as contraction of demand. In this case, again the movement will be upward on the diagram. So movement along the demand curve takes in two directions. One is extension. Now extension is, here we are seeing the extension. Now it takes place again quantity on the x-axis and price on the y-axis, right? Price again 2 units we have taken, quantity also we have taken units. Now when the price was 10, the quantity demanded was 1. When the price falls from 10 to 5, the quantity demanded rises from 1 to 2 units. Now this is the slope of the demand curve, and expansion has taken place from up to down. This is what you mean by extension on the demand curve. When the quantity demanded was 1 unit, the price was 10. And the price fall from rupees 10 to 5, the quantity demanded extended from 1 units to 2 units. This is what you mean by extension on a demand curve. This is the arrow, downward arrow to the right direction shows the extension on a demand curve. Right? Is it clear, children? Right? Next is contraction on a demand curve. How does it happen? Again, this is x-axis. We have quantity over here that we are demanding, and this is price, right? Again, 10 rupees, 5 rupees, 1 unit and 2 units. When the price was 10, the quantity demanded was 1, the price falls, the quantity demanded extends to 2. The slope of the curve is the same. Now how is contraction taking place over here? when the price was rupees 5, the quantity demanded was 2 units. But when the price rises from 5 rupees to 10 units, the quantity contracted from 2 units to 1 units, and contraction took place in the upward direction on a demand curve. This is the slope of the demand curve, and this is contraction on a demand curve. Is it clear, children? Right? Alright, so expansion of, there are two differences between both the things, expansion of demand and contraction of demand. One is that when the quantity demanded of a commodity rises due to fall in its price, this is known as extension of demand. On the other hand, when the quantity demanded of a commodity falls due to rise in price, it is known as contraction of demand. Again, the extension of demand is indicated by a downward arrow movement on a demand curve, whereas a contraction on the demand curve is shown by the upward movement of the arrow on the demand curve.